What's going on, guys? Welcome back to today's video. Today I'm just going to talk about my fishing experience. This is honestly kind of pathetic that I don't have a fishing video up. Honestly, I left the GoPro in the car and I didn't even think about it. I caught this huge fish today and I didn't get it on film for you guys. It was 6 pounds, 8 ounces, and then my friend actually caught a 5-pound, 9-ounce fish a little later in the evening and I didn't get any of it. It's just sad, honestly. But anyway, I'll just discuss about how the day went. Around in my area, the water temp is still kind of cold, so I didn't expect to catch very many fish today, and we just caught the crap out of some fish. Pretty much all the fish were much dinks, you know, nothing to really brag about. That's really why I didn't worry about the GoPro. I still can't believe I left my GoPro in the car. So we started out fishing, and we tried a couple different things. We started out with a jig, and the jig bite really wasn't on. And this was about 11:30 in the morning. And then I switched to a lizard that I had Texas rigged, and I got a couple bites off of that. So in the first hour, I think I caught 2 fish. And then me and my friend had split the pond. He was on the other side, I was on the other, and we kind of just moved towards each other. And at the end of the pond, which is kind of surprising because I haven't caught very many fish down at the other end of this pond, and he was catching a bunch of fish on the jig, so I switched to it. It was just crazy. For some reason, these fish were on these jigs, and they were just taking them. We were using a black and blue jig, and we both had net bait package hunt trailers on. What we started noticing, I noticed it the other day, but I didn't realize what it was, and then he kind of threw out this idea, and then it made pretty good sense. But we really don't know what the forage is in that pond, because when you walk up around the edges, you don't see any fry around the edges or anything. So what he thought it was maybe the crawdad hurt the upper lip, which makes sense. I mean, like, where the area that we were catching, all the fish had red upper lips, and so that would make sense that we were using the craw style bait, and they were biting on that. So we used that, and then the bite kind of died down, and we moved back over to where I've caught fish previously, kind of on a point there, a little farther down. But we started catching some fish there. Then the bite died down again, and we moved back to the original spot that we were catching fish on jigs and stuff. And we caught a couple fish, and then moved down to the front of the pond on the opposite side of which I usually fish. And I never fished this side. I think I fished it maybe once, but just walking by, cast. We started catching fish as we're just walking down the edge, and it seemed like today it was like whenever we caught one fish, we caught 5 or 6. So we just stood around there for a while, and I was just like, you know what, I'm going to do something crazy, because I wasn't getting any bites on the slim jig or the jig, and the only other rod that I had had a buzzbait on it. And of course the top water bite wasn't on because, you know, obviously the water's cold. But we started realizing that for some reason these bass have been acting kind of weird in that pond. We're starting to think that the males are starting to come up and scout for bed areas, while the females are saying these bass were really aggressive around the edges, which is kind of surprising. So I was like, you know what, these bass are being so aggressive, I'm going to try something crazy. So I threw on a 3/8 ounce Booyah spinnerbait, and first cast I caught a 2-pound chunk, and, you know, a nice sized bass, and I was like, okay, we're just gonna throw this. And, well, I caught a few more fish on it, and then I said, you know what, I don't know if this is really gonna work, because we're going for the big fish. And, you know, after I said that, 2 more casts, I cast it out, and I'm just reeling it in. I mean, nice and slow, and I just feel something hit it. It's not real hard hit it, but I felt like something hit it. And so I set the hook, you know, and I sort of reel it in, and my line was going everywhere, and I kept the tension on the line, and I was like, ooh, this is the big one. Ooh, this is the big one. This is the first time I've ever been able to say, ooh, it's a big one, because at that pond, they usually come right up to the shore and eat your bait. So, like, I mean, this was a pretty good fight, and when this fish surfaced, oh my god, my eyes were probably like that big. This fish was huge. I'm gonna say, I didn't measure it, but I'm gonna say it was about probably 2.5 to almost 3 feet long. In the picture, I'm holding it about a foot away from my head, and it takes up half of my face and down to my thigh. It was a huge fish, and I've had bad luck there. For some reason, whenever I catch big fish, they typically get away, and it's just completely ridiculous. So I'm sitting there, I'm taking my time, you know, I bring the fish in. I kind of feel like I brought him in a little too fast. I feel like I was running the risk of breaking the line. But I got him in, I left my rod tip down, brought him all the way up to shore, and the mouth on that thing was huge. Oh my gosh. Definitely the biggest fish I've ever seen, the biggest fish that I've ever caught by far. And we get him to shore, and I lift him out of the water. I'm like, this is 7 pounds. This is probably the biggest fish in this pond. I was shaking. Such a big fish, and it was just a great experience. Later that day, we started moving back. My friend actually had to start getting ready to leave. We went back to the area that we first started catching a lot of fish, which on the jigs, which was in the back part of the pond. We caught a couple fish there, then moved back to the original part where we always fish, that you guys see a lot of times in my videos. And we just started, I don't know what it was, but we just started catching fish after fish after fish. Alicia showed up. I think she was there an hour and caught 6 fish, which was awesome. But I actually have a really cool experience. We were sitting there, and I caught a small dink, and I actually hooked it through its tongue and down to the bottom, and it was bleeding really bad. And I got the hook out and everything, and tossed him back into the water, and he swam away all right. Well, as I'm sitting there fishing, I noticed that this fish kind of surfaced to the top, and then all of us, I was like, hey Alicia, look, there's that fish on the top. And right when I said that, a big bass came up and I kind of hit it. It looked like, I don't know if it took it in its mouth or what, but it was a huge fish, and that small dink surfaced again, and you could see that bass just lurking around, a big dark shadow. Well, I don't know, I think it was about 10 minutes later, we were sitting there trying to catch it or whatever, you know, throw jigs at it. About 10 minutes later, my friend moved back down to the spot that he was at before we saw that, and he catches this nice 5-pound, I think it's 5'9" is what we said it was, fish, and it was really nice. The belly on that thing was ridiculous. But all around, it's just such a great day. Guys, I'm so sorry I don't have a fishing video up. These are actually kind of getting really annoying. I'm so tired of getting really tired of doing commentary videos. I'd much rather put up fishing videos for you guys, but you know, next time I go fishing, I'm going to take a GoPro no matter what. I really am sorry, guys. This would have been a great video. This was probably one of my best days of fishing, and the fact that I didn't get on video is just my fault. If you guys like this video, please leave a thumbs up, and I'll check you guys next time.